Using time functions in the GS4's built-in PLC is easy. You can read the time, compare time, add time, subtract time, and even compare if something happened during a block or a zone of time. And there's simple examples of all of those in the example folder. There are a few things you need to know before using the time functions, so let's bring up the TRD example program so we can see those in action. This program simply reads the time from the drive into 6 registers starting at D20. Check the COM settings, check the COM port, looks good, and the rest of these are correct for my system. Write the program to the PLC in the drive. It's warning me that I have a program running. That's fine, I know that. And yes, I do want to return to run mode. If you aren't in run mode, then go ahead and do that now by clicking here. If we open the monitor window, we see that this example already has the registers populated for us. Let me rearrange that so we can see it and the ladder code. And let's add M0 so we can enable the TRD instruction. Again, make sure you're online and the drive is in run mode. The first thing to understand is time is stored in the keypad. The drive watches the keypad, and if it sees a change, it uses that to update the time it maintains locally in the drive. Let's take a look at how that impacts things. Here are the 6 registers that the time read instruction is going to fill in, and we can see that they're not getting updated right now because we haven't enabled the time read instruction with this M0 contact yet. But if we look down here, we see a set of special function registers that also have time data, and they are getting updated. So do we really need to use the TRD instruction to get time information? Well, no, not really, because the GS4 drive automatically puts the current time information in these special function registers, so the PLC can just read whichever time element it wants, whenever it wants, without having to mess with the TRD instruction. If we do turn on M0, I'm going to toggle the online button so that shows up in the ladder diagram. We see that the seconds D register is now getting updated by the TRD instruction. If I turn M0 off, the seconds D register stops getting updated, but the special function register does continue to get updated. If I re-enable M0, then the seconds D register picks up the current time, exactly what we expect. If I stop the PLC, the monitor window stops getting updated, of course, but as soon as I put the PLC back in run mode, we see the special function register starts updating again, and it's with the correct time, because the clock continues to be updated even while the PLC is stopped. Okay, that all makes sense. Here's the thing you need to remember. Let's pull the keypad out. Look, the time is still getting updated. Why? Well, again, because the drive maintains a local copy of the time as long as it's powered up. Let's record the current time and date. Now, let's put a different keypad in the drive. Ah, look at that. The drive saw a new keypad and automatically adjusted its internal clock to match that keypad. That's really important to understand. Time is stored in the keypad. If your PLC ladder code uses time functions, and you swap out keypads that don't have the same time settings, you can get some unexpected results. So please be careful with that. And if you power cycle the drive with no keypad installed, the drive won't be able to do that initial read of the time, so it'll lose track of the time. And again, your PLC time functions might not work the way you expect. The good news is, Help Topic 208 covers the various error bits and codes. Using those, the PLC can see when there's a time math error and if something happened to the keypad and react accordingly. So please take advantage of those to help fail-safe your PLC code. The next thing to keep in mind is the time in the keypad is maintained by a large capacitor, not a battery. And that capacitor can only hold the time information for about a week. So if that keypad is pulled out of the drive, or the drive is powered down for more than a week, it can't guarantee it'll return the proper time. It's not a permanent timekeeping device. It's really intended to be used to set up one drive and then move the keypad from drive to quickly copy parameters to other similar drives and keypads. While the PLC can read time and date, it can only manipulate time, that is hours, minutes, and seconds, using the time functions. Those time functions don't operate on days, months, or years. The PLC can't write to the time registers. The PLC can read the time and perform operations on time numbers, but it can't write to the drive's time registers. You can see that in the special function register chart. They are read-only registers. The only way to change the time in the drive and the keypad is to go to the main menu and scroll down to Time Setup. That sets the time in the keypad, and the drive will see that change and automatically update its local time and date registers. Of course, you can always see the drive's current time right here on the keypad display, and you can tell if the PLC is running and what its status is right here. Well, great! That ought to be enough to get you started with using time and date in your ladder code. Click here to learn more about the GS4 drives. Click here to learn about Automation Direct's free support options, and click here to subscribe to Automation Direct's YouTube channel so you'll be notified when we publish new videos.